For the first time in 53 years, the New York Knicks are NBA champions. Are the Rangers next in line to win a championship? Find out my answer on this edition of From the Blue Seats. It all comes down to this: a best of 7 battle, and DraftKings has you covered every step of the way. The DraftKings Sports app is now available in all 50 states and includes all markets. Sweat every shift of the series, all in one place with one app. New DraftKings customers sign up with code THPN, spend $5, and get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That's code THPN in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Bet with DK Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. New York, call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, bet text pass through may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Void in Ontario. Event contract trading with DraftKings predictions involves risk of loss. Sportsbook bonus bets expire in 7 days. $50 in predictions dollars issued weekly for 3 weeks, expire in 1 year. Redeem one non-withdrawable reward. Availability varies. Predictions offer void in New York. Ends June 28. Terms at dkng.co/audio.
What's going on, Rangers fans? My name is Jimmy Fanizzi, and welcome to yet another edition of From the Blue Seats, a New York Rangers podcast presented by DraftKings. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Follow us on X and Instagram at BlueSeats94 and use the hashtag BlueSeats to chat with us on any and all topics at hand. Send us fan mail as well from theblueseats@gmail.com. That's from theblueseats@gmail.com. Also, make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube and subscribe on all audio platforms, and be sure to rate us 5 stars. It would mean the world to us. Yes, I know we are supposed to be wrapping up our report card series. That's going to have to be put on hold to next week's episode. This is way more important than any other report card episode going on right now, because the New York Knicks, Madison Square Garden's finally got a championship, and it belongs to the New York Knicks. For the first time since 1973, the Knicks have won it all. And I'm just so happy for them. I really, really am. And I promise you, this is tying into the Rangers. I will get into that in a second. I'll ask the question if the Rangers are next in line. Just hear me out for 1 second here. I don't think I've ever seen, regardless of how many sports playoff runs that I've watched in my lifetime, no matter how many you've watched in your lifetime, I think we can all agree that this postseason run that the New York Knicks had was one of the greatest that we will ever see. Were they the best team ever assembled? No, they certainly had their flaws, especially what you saw in the finals against San Antonio that kind of got exposed a little bit. But one thing was very, very common. This 2025-2026 New York Knicks team was resilient. When they were down, they never gave up. Even when they were down by as many as 29 points, they never gave up. Hey, maybe the Rangers can learn something from the Knicks, and maybe they can bring a championship back to MSG, hopefully next year or in the future. But again, I'll get to the Rangers in a second. But look, what Jalen Brunson has single-handedly done, and yes, he had some help, but Jalen Brunson took a pay cut. He signed a 4-year contract. I believe it was worth over $113 million to come to the New York Knicks, rather than take more money and stay with the Dallas Mavericks. Think about that for a second. He took less money to come to New York. Less money. Knowing that there's going to be expectations. knowing that he's coming to a franchise that has been in turmoil for the last 25 years. And he helped them deliver a championship for the first time in 53 years. You realize that in the years prior to Jalen Brunson coming here, the New York Knicks have won one playoff series in 25 years prior to them going to the conference final in the 24-25 season, I should say. But prior to Jalen Brunson coming here, the only good season that the New York Knicks have had was when they won 54 games under Mike Woodson and when Carmelo Anthony was here. And they won one playoff series. That's it. Forget about making the finals in 94. Forget about making the finals in 99. That Knicks team, they were pretty special. But they ultimately fell short. And the franchise has continued to be in such turmoil that it seemed like there was no hope. But then Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, Karl Anthony Towns, and the rest of the crew come along. And something about all of them together, especially their bench, just clicked. I honestly thought they were going to make the finals last year with Tom Thibodeau. But they make the conference final last year for the first time in 25 years, fire Tom Thibodeau, hire Mike Brown, and then all of a sudden they win a championship. You really can't make it up. You really can't. So, if you're a Knicks fan out there listening, enjoy it. Coming from somebody who is not a basketball fan, but I am a fan now, considering, the Knicks and the Rangers share the same arena. So obviously I'm going to pay attention. I watched every single game of that New York Knicks playoff run. And God, that team was something really, really special this year. They really, really were. They deserve this championship. Now, to all you naysayers out there who are going to say, they had such an easy schedule. Look at who they beat. You play who's in front of you. Heck, I didn't think that the New York Knicks were going to smash the Philadelphia 76ers or smash the Cleveland Cavaliers the way that they did. Nobody did. The toughest series that they had was when they were down 2-1 to the Atlanta Hawks. An Atlanta Hawks team, by the way, without Trae Young. Think about that. The Atlanta Hawks were up 2-1 without Trae Young. And they still lost in 6 games to the New York Knicks. And then they rattle off 13 straight playoff wins, the Knicks do. And literally, we're witnessing something that we literally have never, ever seen in New York sports history. You could talk about all the great Yankee dynasties in the 90s and early 2000s and all that stuff. You could talk about the Rangers winning in 94. Nothing will ever top this, at least in my personal opinion. Nothing will ever top this. So, congratulations to the New York Knicks on really just one of the most improbable playoff runs that we will probably ever see. And again, if you're a Knicks fan out there, enjoy this. Because you never, ever know when or if you will ever see anything like this again. I'm sure that the Knicks are going to win a couple more championships down the road. But who knows how long that's going to take. I'm not saying it's going to take another 53 years, but all I'm saying is just enjoy this. Enjoy it. You deserve it. Congratulations. Nobody has a right to tell you, as a Knicks fan, how to feel about this. Nobody has a right to tell you. Enjoy this. And it's well deserved. With that being said, though, that leads me into my question. Are the Rangers next in line to win a championship in New York City? Honestly, I'm going to have to say no. Unless they do some things this offseason. The last 2 seasons for the New York Rangers have been not that great. They just missed out on the playoffs in the 24-25 season. They were right there at the end of the year. They just missed out. And then this past season was probably the worst season that I've seen in my lifetime. And there was just a lot of holes. A lot of holes. They were inconsistent with scoring. Yes, their defense got vastly better as the season went on, but there's still holes there. Their power play was anemic. Their penalty kill was a massive disappointment. And half the time, it looked like they didn't even care. It looked like they didn't even want to be there. With the exception of Zibanejad, Panarin before he got traded, Fox, Gavrikov, and a couple of others, who else can you really say went out there and tried? Up until after the Olympic break, when you saw these young kids like Gabe Perreault step up, you saw Brett Berard step up to an extent, you saw Drew Fortescue, you saw Dylan Garand, you saw these young kids get a chance and breathe some life into this Ranger team that was missing all year long. That's what gives you hope. Do I think that's enough to at least be a playoff contender? Yes, for next year. But again, only if things play right this offseason and that these young kids continue to be on the roster. Going into the 2026-2027 season, the New York Rangers, as constituted on paper right now, are not Stanley Cup contenders. So, if you're asking me right now, are the Rangers next in line to win a championship? My answer is no. Not right now. Unless they do something very drastic this offseason, hey, maybe they can go out and get somebody like a Dylan Larkin who requested a trade from the Red Wings. Maybe they'll go out and get a Jason Robertson, somebody who can turn the franchise around like Jalen Brunson did for the New York Knicks. Now, yes, they need some help, but maybe Dylan Larkin or Jason Robertson, whoever else is on the market right now, maybe they can help. Maybe Chris Drury goes out and puts a package together of maybe, I don't know, let's say Vincent Trocheck, Braden Schneider, a couple of draft picks. Maybe they can put that together and get one of those two guys. Hey, you never know what can happen. But so far, it's been a quiet offseason. And also, speaking of the offseason, it now is officially the offseason for all of hockey as the Carolina Hurricanes won the Stanley Cup for the first time in 20 years, and congratulations to them. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention them. So congratulations to the Carolina Hurricanes. Well deserved. Rod Brindamore finally got over the hump. But anyway, so no, my answer is no. The New York Rangers are not Stanley Cup contenders right now, and they are not next in line to win a championship. This might come as a surprise to you, but you want to know who I think is next in line to win a championship in New York? It's the Yankees. And let me explain why. Aaron Judge is out right now. I get it. But have you seen the American League? The American League right now in baseball stinks. It is atrocious. The only two teams that are above 500 in the American League East are the Yankees and the Tampa Bay Rays. The Tampa Bay Rays, a team who I didn't think was going anywhere this year. They are really surprising me. But even without Aaron Judge, the New York Yankees are still playing relatively very good baseball. Now, yes, there are some holes, but their pitching has been an A+. Their defense needs some work. Their bullpen is a major question mark. But I have no problems with their offense, especially if they continue to keep playing small ball like this. Instead of always relying on the home run, this Yankee team is pretty damn good. And when Aaron Judge comes back, if he can do his thing in the postseason, I think the Yankees are next in line to win a championship in New York. The Yankees haven't won a World Series since 2009. Almost 20 years ago. We're in 2026 right now. Almost 20 years ago. It's time, Yankees. If not now, when? So look, the bottom line is the Rangers are not next in line to win a championship. I think that's the Yankees. The Rangers have a lot of work to do this offseason. They really do. They need to address the defense a little bit. They need to address scoring on the offensive side of the puck. They need to address helping out the goalies in front of the net more. They need to address the power play. They need to address everything. And Chris Drury better know what he's doing with this retool. So far, it seems to have paid dividends with these young kids that have been coming up in the lineup over the latter half of the season. But the Rangers still have a lot of work to do. And they need to prove some things. Otherwise, I only see them as a wild card team next year. At least. And that's being nice. This Ranger team, as constituted on paper right now, is not a Stanley Cup contender going into the 26-27 season. So no, they are not next in line to win a championship. Let's hear from you, though. Do you think the Rangers are next in line to win a championship, or do you think it is another team in New York sports? Let me know in the comments down below on YouTube and on all social media, X and Instagram at BlueSeats94. Use hashtag BlueSeats and make sure you follow us as well. And send us fan mail. We love hearing from you from theblueseats@gmail.com. That's from theblueseats@gmail.com. And make sure that you like and subscribe on YouTube and hit that bell so you're notified of all episodes. And subscribe on Apple, Spotify, YouTube Music, wherever you listen to your podcasts. And be sure to rate us 5 stars. It would mean the world to us. I do not think the Rangers are next in line to win a championship. I think it's the Yankees. Let's hear from you. I'm Jimmy Fanizzi. This is From the Blue Seats, a New York Rangers podcast presented by DraftKings. Go Blue Shirts, and we'll catch you next time. Peace!